I'd say she's perfect. I've been in space for 6 months, and she looks perfect to me.
I love that quote.
And that was when he was just like...
one of mine. You took one of mine.
And he's just staring at her.
Staring right at her boobs.
Shit. He's just like, oh my God, I've been in space for 6 months. She's perfect.
The female astronaut is right beside him.
Yeah. She's like, what?
I know. The look on her face, she's like, what?
Okay.
Super creeper. Just there. It's just like, she's perfect. Get her out of that chamber.
Welcome to Screams and Streams, the podcast that looks at the best and worst horror movies as rated on Rotten Tomatoes from 1970 onwards. I'm your host, Mike, and with me are my co-hosts,
Chad
and
Sam.
Be sure to check us out on Instagram. Our handle is @ScreamStreamPod. Also, check out our website, screamsandstreams.com, for more information about all the films we are looking at. Just a warning, if you don't like spoilers, we recommend that you stop listening now, check out the film, and then rejoin us for our discussion. Today, we are looking at Tobe Hooper's 1985 film Lifeforce. It scored a shocking 56% on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's get into it. Chad, can you give us our summary, please?
Sure. A race of space vampires arrives in London and infects the populace, beginning an apocalyptic descent into chaos. That's the IMDb one.
Just not hitting it.
No.
Should I do another one?
Is there one?
I think I could find another one.
One that's long and slow and boring, like the movie?
Sure. We'll do it this way. When a space mission involving American and British astronauts encounter... I can't fucking do that.
No.
When a space mission involving American and British astronauts encounters an alien craft, the humanoids within are brought aboard the shuttle. Back on Earth, one of the extraterrestrials, who appears to be a gorgeous woman, proceeds to suck the life force out of various Londoners, turning the town into a city of roaming half-dead people. When Tom Carlson, a surviving astronaut, realizes what is happening, he sets out to stop the ruthless alien presence.
Nice.
Is that better?
Yeah, it captures the film.
Yeah.
Guess.
I guess.
It still wasn't good.
Makes the film sound better than it was.
Yes, 100%.
All right, we're now going to go into our...
It's so negative.
I guess we're in our first impressions. All right,
Matilda May still looks pretty good, actually. Going on.
We're not at titillating.
Sorry, I'm skipping.
All right, we're now going to move into our sinister sips. And for this one, I did a Spirits Taken. There's no website because I kind of made a amalgam of a couple others.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well, cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Oh, that's a kick in the junk.
There's a lot there.
It's fine.
What is it?
It is 2 ounces of bourbon, coffee, vanilla liqueur, syrup, and orange bitters.
I like it better than the last one, but I like coffee. So.
Yeah. I like coffee. I don't mind it, actually. I think the coffee goes really well with it.
Yeah, I added the syrup just to sort of sweeten it a bit, and I lowered the vanilla liqueur. And it called for just regular bitters, but I added orange just to see what that would do.
Yeah, it's good. It's fine. Thanks, Mike. Please keep making them because I do enjoy yours.
I love drinking your booze.
All right, we're now going to move into our first impressions, and I'm going to go first. This is the second time I've seen this film.
Pardon me.
Yep. There's a podcast out there that's been going for a long time that looks at terrible films and why they're made. And so I watched the movie to prepare to listen to their episode and they destroyed it and it was hilarious. And then I never thought about it again until it was recommended by a listener of ours and immediately regretted putting the request page up on the website. I did not enjoy it. It was long. I've got so many pages of notes, and on my third note at the bottom, I'm like, oh my God, there's still an hour left, ? And I wrote a page and a half more notes.
Wow.
Getting through the last hour of this film was a trial. I stopped watching it and then tried to finish it on Saturday in the afternoon. I was exhausted and I could not stay awake. So I had to keep pausing, rewinding, and just dreaded and hated this film from beginning to end.
Well, wowza.
Sam, what were your first impressions?
Same thing. I didn't love it. My first comment, actually, and like, I don't like space movies very much, and I don't like time travel either. So my first comment is just like, no, not fucking aliens with a crying emoji next to it. So immediately I was like, no. But I was like, okay, I'll give it a fair shot. And I did. And it was really long. It felt long. It was very drawn out. It got weird. Like the whole thing was weird. When they're trying to find the space girl, it was so long. I just was not impressed overall.
Would you say it was 150 miles long? Right, Chad, what were your
What's
first?
150 miles long? My first impression is it shoots and looks like a B, almost C grade movie.
Yeah.
The acting is just horrible in most cases. Patrick Stewart does a pretty good job, but he really chews up the scenery. Yes. Like, I mean, I've never seen the guy scream so much. You can't do anything but watch him. He dominates any scene he's in. And the fact that he's in this film is laughable as well. Yeah, there are moments in there where I was just like, I don't know what's happening. At one point, I thought they were sailing through a vagina.
I thought the same thing. I played this Magic School Bus game when I was a kid on my PC, and it's when they enter the human body, and it reminded me a little bit of that. But I was like, take chances, make mistakes, get messy, and they're bobbing through a vagina is all I could think of. Mike is looking at me mortified, but it's all I could think of when I saw it.
Take chances, make mistakes, get messy.
Get messy.
Is that what? Okay, whatever.
As they sail through a vagina. Yeah.
I want that T-shirt. Maybe not that last line on it, just the first three.
Yeah, not the as we sail through a vagina, but maybe get messy. I don't know. Yeah, so just a cheesy, low-grade horror movie that, actually, in my research, I spent a ton of money to get this thing made, and I'm not going to get into that because that's usually Mike's realm, but it was crazy how much they put in to try to make this work, and they couldn't get anybody to act. It was just...
The list of potential actors for the roles in this film is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any details. Sorry.
Sorry. Okay.
Because it was too much. It was literally too many.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It would have been a page of names.
Well, I heard they couldn't find someone to play Space Girl just because of the nudity
There was
aspect.
a lot of... They went through 50 different females, and a lot of them turned it down because of all the nudity.
Yeah.
Well, she's naked the whole film.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. We're now going to move into our Tropes Hall of Shame. Chad, start us off, please.
Sure. My first trope is this is our only shot. We need to investigate this now. Like when they're doing Haley's Comet thing, he's like, we have to do this now. The next time it'll come around 76 years.
Yeah.
And the fact that evil is, trailing behind this comet. People don't understand comets at that time. So they're like, oh, there must be evil in there somewhere. So tack that in.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Chad, I had the same one. The comets meaning disaster. Like it's that danger is coming trope.
Yeah.
And then I had the very convenient communication blackout. They just can't. Always.
Yeah.
So.
I just can't get a hold of them, Jim.
Keep trying.
I had Bringing the Specimen Back with You.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Every alien horror film, it's like, oh, we found this weird specimen. Let's bring it back to the lab and see what happens.
Load it up. We got to study it.
But also, how did they break the crystal glass? Like
I don't know how they pulled them out.
I was like, okay. And they conveniently cut that. Like they started just pushing it very slowly.
Didn't you see when the guy he went to grope the alien lady? The glass just disappeared. Like the life force just.
Oh, later on.
Yeah. Later on,
and then he
in the tug bay.
Yeah.
I have more on that.
The tug bay.
The tug bay. Is
Yeah.
that what it's called?
Yep.
Oh.
That's a bad name.
Yeah.
Or a really good name.
It comes up in Terrifying or Titillating.
Where are you going? I'm just off to the tug bay. I got
With the super hot naked alien. Who's
lady.
That is literally my Terrifying or Titillating.
There's two dudes there too, but they're asleep.
We'll just not look at
Oh my God.
All right. And then my other trope is just when they're giving the speech about like, maybe we're all vampires sucking life out of each other. And this camera slowly pans in like, this is the message of the movie.
Right.
That still doesn't hit. Yeah. Chad, did you have other tropes?
Yes, music cueing the jump scare, a couple of those. And there's one where the guy, he's a security guard. He walks up to another security guard, but it spooks him because you think it's going to be one of the space vampires, but it's actually just the security guard.
Right. Yeah. All right. Sam, what else did you have?
My last one was the computer that shows them exactly what they needed to know, and that was on the spaceship. When they're like, this is exactly what this is. It's like, come on.
This thing we've never encountered before and we're confused by. One of mine is just, I was in love on a level you'll never know.
Oh, yes. The line delivery.
Oh, so good. Carlson's delivery of everything.
Oh, fuck. Really,
what are these feelings?
And that's no joke, folks. This is what this guy's level of acting is.
Oh, God.
He says he loved her on a way that was almost spiritual 3 times in one monologue. He's like, it was beyond spirituality. It was like, fuck off.
And I think that was supposed to be like the big twist was that he's like, that's the twist, right, of the whole film. And I called it right away. And I was like, he's obsessed with her from the minute she saw him.
Get-go. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's in love. He's
in love. Creepy bugger.
And my next trope is the leader is already infected when they go to talk to them about the problem.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love, like, he's sweating, he's nervous, and he's like, Miss Howershaw, this way, please. It's like, yeah, she's about to die.
Yeah.
Chad, do you have any others?
I had males are way more aggressive than the females in here. But
the aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She just seduces horny men and kisses them.
Yeah.
They kill.
And they go after them.
Yeah. My last trope is just the severed arm trying to choke Carlson as he's driving away.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I just love, like,
I just got a kick out of that.
You see the arm pop out of the shirt and he's holding it. It's just like, just throw it out the window. It's not a threat. We're now going to move into our one-liners. Sam, what lines did you find in this film that were good?
The detective asked Carlson,
Colonel Kane?
The blonde guy that goes
The
with
blonde
Carlson.
afro guy.
I can't remember.
Okay.
It's all a blur.
Go ahead.
But he was asked, was it sexual? And then he replies, yes, overwhelmingly so. And horrible.
So good.
Yeah.
Do you have another?
And then I had another one I thought was kind of funny. They asked one of the doctors, are they doctors? Are they scientists? Unclear. On both? I don't know.
Yeah.
Educated men in white
call
lab
them
coats.
doctors. Yeah.
So they're like, are they dead? And he goes, well, you would agree that they're less alive than we are, right? I really like that part.
Missed that one. That's good.
Oh, I like that. My first line is just because I knew what was coming in this film and just how sort of sexual it was. When they're doing the docking procedures, like, stand by for soft dock. And it's like, those astronauts aren't soft. And then it's so weird to call her Space Girl. Like, that is the name she's cast as, but it's just so stupid that it feels dumb saying it. But
Space Girl, Space Girl.
Oh, nice. When Space Girl's going through the offices and they're radioing, and it's like, don't worry, a naked girl isn't going to get out of this this complex.
Oh, man.
Chad, did you have others?
It's when they're talking to the doctor. I think it's Colonel Kane and the doctor there. And he's like, is there life after death, doctor? Do you really want to know? No. To answer your question, yes, I believe there is.
I forgot about that one.
It's like, he just said no.
This is why I laugh through this movie, because the lines are just so terrible.
Oh, just so bad. And then my other one was like, it's 150 miles long. And Rawlings pops out of the hatch. Boop, what's 150 miles? It's like, where did he come from?
Sam, did you have other lines?
Yeah, they're kind of silly, but the one they're going and checking out the spaceship and they're going through and then they're reporting back and it's like, what do you see? He goes, they just had the life drained out of them, which is literally, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of good, maybe kind of bad as well. And then the other one that I hated was when they were on the hunt for the man with the birthmark on his face. And then they ask like, oh, where is he? And then they go, he's in South solitary confinement. He's been naughty. Just anytime someone uses the word naughty to describe someone, I'm like, oh, I don't like it.
It's a little greasy.
Yeah, it's gross.
You naughty boy. Get into that cell, you.
It's all locked up.
My next line is after the guards or the two men have blown up and they're everywhere. They walk in. It's like, it would appear that these two are no longer dangerous. And then I don't know if it's Bukowski or whoever. He's like looking like all over the floor, the walls, the ceiling. And he's like, well, there's certainly no possibility of doing a full autopsy on them. And then my next one is just, I'm going to speak to this later, but the horniness of these men is rampant in this film. Mm-hmm. And so there's the line when Carlson shows up. He's like, I'm sure you'd rather be recuperating with a pretty nurse.
Yes, yeah.
It's like, because that's all men want. Yeah, and that's all nurses do, apparently. All right, Chad, did you have any others?
Well, I had the one that was our cue line. I'd say she's perfect. I've been in space for 6 months and she's perfect. It's just gold. And the way he says it is so creepy. Mm-hmm. And like Sam said, the female astronaut is right next to him. And she's just like, what the fuck?
Her eyes are going back and forth. She's like looking to see any other reaction. There's no other reaction.
Guess I'm just a hot dog in this room. My last line is, it's not a great line, but I loved what we see on screen as it's being delivered. And it's when he's, I guess, mind melding with the girl when it's Patrick Stewart laying on the desk or on the bed or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I am the feminine in your mind, Carlson. And it's been Matilda May up until that line. But as it's like, I am the feminine in your mind, we see Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
And I just like that. It's like, oh, we're seeing the guy like, I'm the feminine.
Yeah, he's just talking. Yeah.
We are now going to move into what doesn't hold up. Sam, what do you have for this category?
The spaceship scenes are so bad.
Oh,
it's so corny. It's so poorly done. And then the astronauts just like bobbing around in space. Like they're just,
legs not moving, arms not moving.
They're
just like
literally bobbing. Yeah. And then they like zoom, like really slowly zoom everywhere. And it's not until like a little, like maybe like 10 or 15 minutes in that you hear them actually like pressing something that's launching them a little bit, but they're literally just bobbing there. And they're just chilling with the vampire bats.
Yeah. I know.
They're just like,
and they don't seem freaked out at all when they come across all these vampire bats that are just sitting there in space. They're just like, huh,
there's
what
hundreds
are these
of them
doing here?
Thousands.
And they're talking so like I don't know if anyone can hear outside of a spacesuit, but I was like, they're talking so loud, like they don't know that these things are like dead
or anything,
anything. They're just like do and they're like talking about them, and I was like, shh, they'll hear you. It's so
should we poke them?
And then they do. It's so scary.
I know. Doesn't make any sense. There's no quarantine protocol or anything with this film. They're just like, bring them on.
And
they clearly didn't see Ripley.
Exactly.
And how she handled it.
That's right.
So the other thing that didn't hold up to me that I thought was kind of funny was they're like, okay, we're going to put this bat into a specimen bag. And I feel like it's just a net. They just like toss some rope over. I was like, that's your specimen? It's just literally a net. And they're like trying to get it into the rope.
I thought the same thing.
I was like, what?
Sitting there trying to like put this netting over this giant bat.
As they're like just bobbing.
Yeah, it's just like
so bad.
For me, what doesn't hold up, the opening, the slow pan / crane shot across the asteroid during the opening credits, like it just goes on.
It reminded me of the opening scene of Star Trek, the movie.
Oh, okay.
When they go through the Enterprise and they just do this slow pan.
Yeah.
Through the Enterprise. It's like a 5-minute shot.
See, and then all I think of is Spaceballs.
Yes.
Where the ship goes on and on and on. And then my next doesn't hold up was the effect of the guard getting his flesh back after he sucks
the life force.
Yeah. And it's just like the way it like reanimates and like bubbles and there's like weird like things poking out. And it was just cheesy and sort of disrupting my quote enjoyment of the moment. Because there was no enjoyment. Chad, what doesn't hold up for you in this?
Well, the animatronics or the puppets that they're using are pretty old school. And, maybe at the time they were cutting edge, but now they really remind me of like Return of the Living Dead or those old zombie films that are just very poorly done. So that's one of them. The other one is like, I had a couple questions. This may be hiding in the shadows, but I think it works here as well. to kind of double up on what Sam was saying about these stupid astronauts just bobbing along. It's like, why would you make a futuristic movie, but make everyone wear the same shit you do today? Like these big, bulky astronaut like suits, and they're just floating along and so slow. And anyways, that was that. And yeah, some of the special effects just didn't do it for me. I agree with Sam. Anytime the ships came on, it looked horrible. The Earth shots looked bad.
Yeah.
The giant penis vampire ship looked horrible.
I called it a needle dick ship.
Yeah. All those things, just like, I mean, you could stack them up. If you watch this film, you just be like, well, I don't know. Like, none of this holds up.
The best part with the ship is like, it looks like an umbrella. It's like, that is the farthest thing from an umbrella.
It's like, I don't know what umbrellas you're using when you try to stop the rain.
It was so funny because I have a comment in my notes and it's like, is the umbrella in the room with us?
Yeah.
Because I have no idea. I was like,
it's so bad. Like, so yeah, those are my big doesn't hold ups.
Sam, what do you have for doesn't hold up? Or what else do you have?
the like research center having like no security at all. They just brought aliens back to Earth and there's like 2 security guards that.
Did you see how many doors that guy had to run through to get
that's
to
my
the...
gratuitous.
Yeah, sorry. That's a lot of security.
Those with single pane glass doors.
I gotta open 20 doors to get to this room, and then I gotta run through and do it again.
Imagine being the actor if you had to do take after take of that.
Oh man! Like, okay, this time I need you to really run, man, a little more intensely. It's like, motherfucker, how many doors?
The best is he does a bunch of them, and you're like, okay, well, that's a lot of doors, and then he turns a corner, there's more doors.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy. Sorry, Sam, go ahead.
I also had the effects, like some of them were just awful on top of the spaceship as well.
Yeah.
And then my last, I don't even know where to put this, but I felt like there was a lot going on in this movie, but also nothing at the same time.
I think they tried to address a lot of things, but missed the mark in everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, we've got space travel, first of all. We've got getting these guys home safely. We've got alien space vampires. And they're taking over all of London. Then they're in a base first. They go to London. There's 3 of them. Yeah. And the guys don't really need to be there.
No.
Probably would have been cooler without them, actually.
Yeah.
Well.
Or
more nudity from them too. No.
Or they could have used them to be there. Like,
show us the dicks. Just show us the dicks. But like, you never see male nudity. And I
was actually going somewhere, and now it's totally gone. Show us the dicks.
We just didn't see nothing. Sorry, Chad. But it's so true. There's never male nudity. It's always Yeah.
No, every guy is shot usually waist up, and females are just shot full frontal. Or yeah. It's never been really taboo to show the full female form, but it's always been kind of taboo to show the full male form.
Because who runs Hollywood again?
Fuck the patriarchy.
All right. My next doesn't hold up is the names. They just don't roll off the tongue. Like Dr. Hans Fallada.
Falada.
Yeah. There is Bukowski. And then
because that's easy.
And
Rawlings is easy though.
Rawlings is easy. Carlson's not bad because they say it enough times.
Yeah. Kane. Colonel Kane. Well, except it's Colonel Kane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Colonel Carlson. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the picture? Picture in your
the picture in your pack. Stop spitting at me, Gary Oldman.
And then Sir Percy Hazeltine.
Oh, I just got the drink up my nose.
I'm so happy. But the breath almost shot it right in my face.
Oh my god. Is that actually his name?
Yes.
Can you say it one more time?
Sir Percy Hazeltine.
Oh my God.
Like, just the
So
names in this
bad.
film are terrible.
I don't even remember like any of them. I remember Space Girl, Carlson, Bukowski, and
Yeah.
Armstrong. That's all I know.
I remember Kane, Rollins, Space Girl. I didn't even remember Bukowski. And what are the guys? Are they space guys? They're so forgettable in this film. They're in like 2 scenes and they're
Yeah.
only showed how to kill and then they're gone.
Yeah.
First vampire, second vampire.
They're not even the.
They don't even get a name?
Yeah, they're not Space Boy 2.
I want Space Boy.
What about Spaceman?
Justice for
It's the
Space
song.
Boy. Spaceman. Space.
Love that song.
My next doesn't hold up is this is a film about space vampires, and yet we still have like a gothic cathedral setting with like the wrought iron gates and the marble columns.
Yeah.
It's like they're space vampires. They're not gonna be like, oh, I'll go to the basement of the cathedral. Like, no. Although they try to do the whole thing like maybe the vampires of our lore were these all along. It's
That's
like,
right.
Fuck
Yeah,
off.
they've visited many times before.
I don't understand the whole vampire. I don't understand. I know they've been there before. I just don't get it. Why are the why are the vampire bats in space?
They think that vampires that like of history were actually these space vampires that have come to visit. And,
But why are the bats in space?
I don't fucking know.
That's my question. Is why are there vampire bats in
They
space?
don't really explain that, do they?
Well, there's the part where it's like, I went deep into your mind and took the form of the perfect woman. So they're not humanoid until they read the minds of the astronauts to then appear that way to them. So maybe the bat is the way they look as aliens. I don't know.
But we have so the bats are here, like they're space vampire bats. And I'm really confused.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
I might have missed something.
And are all those space vampire bats that were up there, are they dead?
I don't know.
Well, the one
Because they're
didn't.
in the ship, right? They're
Yeah.
in that
Yeah,
massive
and they're
cock
all
ship.
just frozen in
That looks
air.
like a vagina on the inside.
It's vagina cocks.
A blending of two.
They went down the urethra of the space penis.
There you go. Maybe that's a better one.
Oh my
Magic
God.
school bus
Magic school bus.
explores the urethra.
Make mistakes. Try things.
Get messy.
Get messy. All right. Does anyone else have it doesn't hold up?
Just hang on, I think I do. Why does the inspector have 2 jackets on?
Oh, yeah.
He has a trench coat and he takes off his trench coat and he has a leather jacket underneath the trench coat and then he has a turtleneck.
He's just cold. It's the chilly British.
It's England in the winter. It's humid and chilly.
He's just
Too many jackets. These guys wearing too many jackets.
the leather jacket, though.
And that doesn't hold up. People don't wear too many jackets in 2024.
The way he delivers his lines are so bad. A lot of times, it's like there's a lot of smell the fart acting in this film. To use a term from Friends, there is a ton of it. And it's just every time I see him pause and look off into the distance, I'm like, he's smelling a fart.
Yeah.
Like this is what he's doing.
Speaking of too many jackets, let's move into what was most gratuitous. Chad, other than the jackets, what did you find most gratuitous in this one?
Gratuitous for me at the very end when Space Girl, she just keeps calling Carlson's name over and over and over and over again for, I don't know, it felt like forever.
Yeah.
Finally, I was just like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop calling his name. He's on his way. He's coming.
He's trying to figure out a lot of things.
I had that as the Carlson drinking game under shadows.
Oh, man, you'd be so pissed.
Just a sip. You'd have to take a sip. Because even Kane was like, Carlson.
Oh, Carlson. And she's Carlson. It's like, where the fuck is Carlson? And why isn't he going to these people? So angry was I at the end of this film. Just shut the fuck up and wrap this up.
All right. For me, what was most gratuitous was just the canted camera angles to show the weightlessness.
Oh,
Like, it was just like, it's sideways, it's upside down, it's this way. It's just like, It was too much. And then,
very kind of elementary filmmaking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had the number of doors he has to run through to get to the alien.
Yeah, that was
Oh, so good.
so funny. And he has to stop every time. And there's only like His running distance from door to door is so small. It's like barely a breezeway. And he's boom, 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 boom. It's like 20 doors.
Like, what kind of office is it?
It's like, this was poorly designed.
Sam, what did you find most gratuitous?
So I had the same thing as you, Chad, with the Carlson.
Oh, okay.
I just, was losing my mind.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I had was just like the amount of nudity. Like she didn't have to be naked the whole time. Like, but I actually had a comment, was the 56% just men? Like, just, yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, she looks amazing. Like, she looks fantastic.
But I wanted to see some dicks.
Show us the dicks. No. It just wasn't equal. I just wanted equality.
Willy.
I just wanted equality.
That's all. No, but honestly, like, I just, like, it was kind of unnecessary. Like, she can,
Once she got to Earth, I think she could have had some clothes on.
like, give her some clothes, give her a little outfit, a little towel, like something, a house coat. Like,
I think once she's out of the complex, because like that's how she gets past every security guard, because they're all just like, the naked woman don't know what to do.
Yeah.
but can't she hypnotize anyone? Like, isn't that?
Well, that's part of the vampire lore, is that you can hypnotize.
Yeah.
She could have borrowed a jacket from Kane. Like, he had
He had too many jackets.
he had a trench coat.
And then I actually, in my research, like, I felt like she was nude, like it was just her naked the entire movie.
It seemed like it, yeah.
It was only actually 7 minutes of the entire movie that she was shown naked on screen.
Which is probably only on screen for 10.
Probably, honestly. Yeah.
Because once she's out of the complex, she then takes over different bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last gratuitous is the amount of blood coming out of the faces of Patrick Stewart and the other guy on the helicopter.
I called it the bloodletting. Yeah. It's just like... just all this blood into the center that forms the woman that collapses into another pool of blood.
Yeah, I had a comment in there that the blood in the helicopter is insane and also not cool. I don't know what that was. And then
because Patrick Stewart and the other guy that they're sucking the blood from look so fake.
Patrick Stewart's face with his eyes open, just like...
and then so I have a comment. My next comment on here in my notes is the guy looks like a CPR dummy.
He totally does. Yes.
Literally, yeah.
First I was afraid, I was petrified.
I'm staying on. What? That's I Will Survive.
It's off The Office.
Oh.
Because he gets the song wrong.
Yeah.
And so he sings that one instead of Staying Alive. Staying Alive.
I love that one.
That's my favorite.
The face.
Hello, Clarice. Yeah, that's my favorite.
So good. I have it printed on the wall in my classroom. Just with the face on it. It's so
I love what he says. Why did you have to cut the face off the dummy? It's like, well, I didn't think it was very realistic in the film. It turns out it's pretty realistic. That's my favorite part.
You know, a movie isn't great when we start
talking about The Office because of some random quote. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're now going to move to the category that has been hinted at multiple times through the episode so far, terrifying or titillating. And I am nervously going first. My first one, Sam, you've already talked about this, but I was like, of course the male genitals are blocked and the females aren't.
Yep. Always.
In every shot.
Are they blocked? Did they grid them out? Or they just shoot up?
There's a few scenes, like in the scene where you see the three of them in the glass container, sort of like Fortress of Solitude crystal structure.
Right, yeah.
She is full frontal nudity, but there's our frosted panes up to their belly button.
Yeah, and then they also put on, they had to wear like I don't want to say flesh colored, but like a skin colored sock, and they had that over.
Modesty sock, yeah.
There you go. So they had that over top, whereas she was completely naked through the whole thing.
Interesting.
I didn't do any research into the covering of the genitals, Sam.
It just popped up.
Speaking of
genitals. As it does.
But not in this movie.
Hide your shame.
All right. right. Sam, what did you find terrifying or titillating?
So nothing really, but there's one scene that I thought was kind of funny in it. And it's when, Space Girls escaped and they're looking for her. And then there's the two guys in the park that actually report and call it in. They're like, yeah, there was a naked chick and another chick and we just passed them. And then they like looped around. And then
we came back to see if they were doing anything.
Yes, exactly. And so I was like, oh. So yeah, I just made a note of that for this category.
Yeah, super creepy, super weird. And like the men taking the account are just like, oh, of course. Yeah. Like,
get it. Yeah.
As you would.
Yeah.
Chad, what did you have for this one?
Well, I thought Space Girl was hot.
Yes.
Like she was very
Agreed.
good looking. Yeah. I didn't really mind the fact that she was full frontal the whole time.
Chad was also titillating.
I mean, there wasn't really a lot going for this film, but the fact that she was attractive, gave it the 56%.
That's the amount of men that watch this.
That's right, yeah.
But honestly, like she looks super hot. Like I get it.
Brutal, but she's but as far as terrifying goes, there wasn't really anything terrifying in this film. No. Even when they, they're sucking the life force out of the people, they make it very cartoonish and kind of like silly.
Yeah. Well, even so, the faces of every desiccated corpse looks like they're like shocked, like that's almost the noise they make too.
Yeah. And then they're sucked dry, and then they wake up, and they have to do it. Like it gets weird. Like I didn't see vampires, I saw zombies, right? So it seemed more like a zombie film than a vampire film to me. Mm-hmm. Especially when everybody in London gets affected, and there's just bodies. Like you want to talk about gratuitous? Sorry to take this back, but the amount of bodies.
Oh yeah.
On the steps of every building that are just sitting there.
And yet there's a perfect path through them.
Yeah, exactly. Except he can just go through, and every once in a while one twitches.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I put that understood the test of time because I was like, I like the piles of dead bodies.
So I actually did, but it was more zombie-esque, not vampire.
100%.
Right? So like they couldn't find a life force, so they're starting to collapse, whereas vampires would be, I don't know, just kind of around and...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I find that happens often in movies. It's like, is it because what was the other movie we watched that it's like, are they vampires or are they zombies? It was the one where the shootout at the end. What was that?
Oh, Mutant.
Mutant. Yeah. That was one I was like,
with the hands?
The steamers.
The steamers.
The steamers. Yeah. That one I didn't. Yeah. Same type of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. They weren't vampires. No.
But they were drinking blood. Remember they went to the blood bank?
Yeah.
That's right. They needed the blood.
Yeah, or they turned into baby poo.
Very unfortunate demise.
All right.
Oh man, everybody tries to take a weird take on a different zombie. Let's make them this way.
Like strained peas. My last comment in this category, I didn't know whether to put it in trope or this one, but I was like, I'll put it in terrifying or titillating because it's the shadow of the killer before the killer enters the screen. But I put it in terrifying or titillating because it's just all you see is like her boobs enter the shot in the shadow. Like
her boobs first.
Like it is like that's all that shadow is. And then she walks on screen. So it's just like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And there you go.
Yeah. And then I was just like, how long did they spend like lighting to get it perfect? Like, no, the shadow's not big enough. Make it bigger. Make it bigger.
I would be interested to see, and I don't know, maybe you found something in your research, Mike, like what she thought, like looking back at this
I do have something, yeah.
Okay, great.
Matilda May is said to be too embarrassed by her association with this project and doesn't even list it on her like CV when she applies to like, or goes for films.
I listened to a video about it afterwards that she at first was actually quite proud of the project until the critics came out and they really kind of hammered the nudity and about how much there was of it, and then she started to feel a little ashamed about it.
Oh,
which is too bad because it's not her fault. It's that graphic.
No.
It's not even like she's.
And I thought she did what
I thought she was the best part of the film. Like honestly,
definitely. Like she did what was asked of her. It's not like I don't think she acted it bad either, and she barely knew English.
Yeah.
Like they said that the crew was teaching her English as it went on.
Yeah.
So it's like I thought she did a fantastic job with what she was given.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't think you could go too much more.
The film didn't stand the test of time for Matilda May, but we are now going to talk about what stood the test of time in the movie.
I really liked the apocalyptic London scene. I thought it was one of my favorite, like as they were like announcing martial law.
Right.
I liked it. It was one of the better parts of the movie because it had been so slow up to that point.
All the
like,
explosions.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many. And I liked the bodies twitching on the cathedral steps
Yeah.
a little bit. So I had that in there. Another scene that I really liked was when the escape pod landed on Earth and it was dark and it was raining and you saw all the flashlights and
In
everyone was
Texas,
in
yeah.
the coats going through. I really liked that. It kind of reminded me a little bit of E.T.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah.
When I was watching it, and I really liked it. So yeah,
It depends what version of ET you've seen. Because in one version, they have guns. In the other version, they have walkie-talkies and flashlights.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In the remade version, they
Yeah.
they added stuff and they actually CG ET a little bit, and he looks weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember there being guns, but also that movie scared the shit out of me as a kid. I used to have so many nightmares about ET's neck popping out. Like, it actually, and he was like screaming as he was like on rollerblades. And it's so
I love that impersonation. That was like, no.
that's what it was. And he's like on rollerblades zooming through.
Yes, I know. I know exactly what
He
scene
scared
you're
the
talking
shit
about.
out of me. I used to have nightmares
Oh
of
my
him.
God, he's fucking crazy.
I used to have a little plastic ET toy that like his chest would light up and his head would pop up.
Yes, you could
that's
flick
so
the back
scary.
part and his head would just like shoot out.
No, E.T. scared the shit out of me as a kid. And when people are like, oh, it's like this nice family movie, I was like, it's not. It's so scary.
No, actually, E.T. freaked my kids out. I don't think we've watched it since they've been old enough to watch it, but we tried to introduce it to them when they were younger because it's a fun movie. I watched it when I was like 6 or 7, I think. And we showed it to them. And within the first minute of the film, they were like, turn this off.
It's so scary.
They
It's
were
honestly
freaked right out. They thought E.T. was like...
So they never even made it to the whole like Elliot is drunk and inappropriately hitting on a girl.
None of the fun stuff. No,
They're dissecting the
where they're
frogs?
saving the frogs. None of that stuff. They got to the part where he basically was being hunted.
Oh yeah.
And then left behind, and they were like, "No, this is too much."
Yeah, I don't like that. I still remember the scene with the like M&Ms and his like long fingers. Oh, it freaked me out.
Those fingers are
Super moist. Just look like a giant turd. Like he's so
A giant turd.
What? E.T. He's like
He's not a giant turd.
looks like one.
Again, we're sidetracked.
Yeah,
we're
this is
talking
not
about
an E.T.
E.T. We are talking about Lifeforce, everybody.
This is not an
Kind
E.T.
of rein this
podcast.
in there, host.
It's not The Office. It's not E.T. I feel like it's been me on both of these tangents.
No, I think we've all kind of jumped in on these.
We've hit Friends, we've hit Office, we've hit ET.
What else
We
can
still
we
have
do
5
here?
or 6 categories to go.
All way better than Lifeforce.
Alrighty. Chad, what stood the test of time for you?
Actually, you know what? Despite the fact that Patrick Stewart really chews up the scenery, I loved him in this film.
He was good, yeah.
When he starts freaking out and doing his stuff, I thought he did a great job. So Patrick Stewart stood the test of time for me. Also, there were some special effects that I liked. Not a lot. I would say when the blood, not necessarily when the blood is sucked out of the guy's faces, but when she forms the blood person and then collapses into a big like pool of blood, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was good. Like it was the right color. The bubbles in it were interesting.
Yeah. But the blood sucking out of the guy's face, I was like, what the fuck is happening? This looks so stupid. But then when it formed her and it did that, then I was like, oh, okay, I actually don't mind that.
Yeah.
So those 2 moments stood the test of time for me.
Yeah. Only one thing stood the test of time for me in this. And it was just the scene where she's in the complex and she makes it past the security guards and she's confronted by the wall of glass and she just explodes all the windows at the same time.
Right.
That was like the only thing that stood the test of time for me in this film.
Then she walks through the glass.
Yeah. Barefoot.
No cuts.
Well, I did
guess she
find
is.
in my research
Oh.
they put something on the bottom of her feet so she could walk
Rubber
through.
soles, right?
Yeah.
But she wouldn't have had those on as a vampire. So do they get cut? Do vampires get cut? They don't.
They can get shot. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. We don't need to look into it that much.
There's a lot of questions that I don't care about for this film.
Sam, did you have one more for us?
No.
Moving into our eerie to ear splitting. Chad, what did you think of the use of music or sound in the film?
Well, I thought the opening, I thought it was very Star Wars, Star Trek kind of esque. I really liked the music. Yeah. The opening, I know the shot of the comet was long, but the music, the marching music to it, I was like, whoa, this is kind of cool. And then I was like, fast forward because this is taking too long.
We get it. It's nice.
But I actually did. I liked the music. I liked the sound effects. I thought like when they're getting their life force sucked out. And I didn't really understand why the life force was exploding the buildings, but I did like the sound effects in the film.
All right.
Yeah.
On your comment with the opening music, to me, it reminded me of like almost Superman, the movie.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
I can see that too. Yeah.
Totally.
So much so that when the title, I don't know if you fast forwarded through it, but when the title like rushes towards it.
Did you hear the Superman whoosh?
And then it's like whoosh, bang. Like there's like a thump, like it's hit the camera. I don't know what
fix it in post.
And then the other one for me was just the almost comic bullet ricochet sounds when they're like unloading the guns at the two males. Like, because
yeah.
Sam, what did you think of this use of sound?
I agree with Chad. I liked the music and I liked that life, like when they sucked the life out of them as well. One thing kind of on a similar note, I liked when the scientists / doctors, when they were wearing the masks going in to do like the autopsy or like going and checking out what's going on. And I really liked that you could hear their breathing. Yeah, it really built suspense and that I thought was really well done. My
last one is, and this was more comical, but when Kane is driving through the chaotic streets of London and he's got his windows unrolled and he's going past like crowds of people fighting, but it's just like, like there's not a constant scream. It's just like, just flashes of like,
and he wasn't going fast either, which is so funny.
But it just made me laugh so hard. Sam, what else did you have for the category?
Okay, this is worded really weird, so bear with me. There was a screaming when they were having sex in the courtyard, but it was like a weird screaming, but it wasn't them. I just made a note saying that this was awfully ear-splitting, so there's like a screaming noise that went through. And then I also didn't like the life force sound at the end. Like it was just like, it was so bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
So bad.
Is that when he's yelling, what are these feelings?
It's Lurv.
Oh, man.
All right. So we're now going to go to our what the fuck moment. Chad, what was your what the fuck with this other than the whole movie?
There were several. My biggest what the fuck was the fact that they're energy vampires. And I don't know if you've ever watched What We Do in the Shadows.
No.
So there's a guy on there called an energy vampire. And basically all he does is tell you stories about his day.
So it's just a time
sucks the energy out of you and he becomes reinvigorated and you just leave depressed. And that, so as soon as I was like, oh, they're energy vampires, I couldn't get over it. I was like, what the fuck? They're sucking the life force like instead of blood. Like I don't get it, but it made the movie even more comical to me because I was thinking about that section. And if you've never seen, it's the TV series, it's not the movie, but if you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. And you go watch The Energy Vampire and he's amazing.
Makes you wonder if Taika Waititi pulled that from this or not.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it hits it.
So once again, we're talking about Lifeforce.
Another movie. Yeah.
So we're not talking about E.T.
Another movie.
But I like Matt Berry. He's awesome.
Any excuse to not talk about this.
There's not a lot of what the fuck in this. Like, just because it's, I don't know, a horror movie that a lot of elements have been seen before. I guess if I were to say Lifeforce, what the fuck was the bloodletting thing where the blood comes out of their faces, it forms the woman and then she collapses. I would say that's my biggest what the fuck. Everything else was just kind of bleh.
Yeah, what the bleh.
Yeah. Or the Darth Vader breathing. as he's coming to see her. Anyways, I'm done.
All right. My what the fuck was, she's a masochist. I can see in her mind. And then the other guy in the room was like, I'm a natural voyeur.
I had that too in one of my quotes, and I was like, I don't even remember writing that or thinking
It's
about
when
it.
he's confronting the woman that they think has been possessed by Space Girl. And so then Carlson's like slapped her and he's holding her. I was just like, how have they suddenly done like, he can read minds? It's never been addressed, never been brought up. But just that whole like, she's a masochist. I can see it in her mind. It's like, well, I'm a natural voyeur. So just like,
Right on, bud.
what the fuck?
That's so good.
Sam, what were your what the fucks?
I had the doctor hypnotizing Carlson. I was like, is this like, are you, what is your job here? Like, because I was like, you can't just,
They
yeah.
load him full of like barbiturates.
Tell us more. I thought that, I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And then the scene where they lit the giant bat on fire. I was like, what the fuck is happening? And he lit the fuck up. Like, he was like well preserved in that net.
Yep. We're now going to go into our back it up moments with this film, and I'm going to start us off. For me, it was the scene where the guard and the pathologist are in the cells. I just found it ridiculous where they've like locked them away because they may have been infected. And then he jams a rod into the one and it like disintegrates. But I just thought it was so weird. It's just like, I know what I'll do. I'll jam it with a metal rod. Because he pushed hard enough that it like had it been alive potentially, he would have broken skin. He just destroys it. And then when the guards get taken over, like their 2-hour gestation has passed, whatever, and they run and hit the bars and just explode.
Yeah. That's what, yes, I didn't get that. Like,
I don't know.
it just like shoots forward and boom. Yeah. And then when the second body explodes, I was like, well, at least when he hit the bars, that could have given
Don't do it.
some reason as to why it exploded. But why did this guy explode? He just got stabbed with the mystical knife.
Was it an ironed blade or something? Or I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
He was
care.
like, it's the only thing that can kill them. And then he killed 2 of them with it. So
Yeah.
But you have to get them like right under the heart.
Below the heart and their energy center. How does he even fucking know that's the energy? Okay, whatever. But for my back it up, it was the only thing in this movie I'd want to watch again. All right. This movie didn't have a lot of scenes to rewatch, but it left us with a lot of questions. So now we're going to go into what was hiding in the shadows. Chad, what do you have for this category?
Well, my one question, I had a few questions about this.
We all do.
And Mike, we just talked about it, was the exploding bodies. Like I wasn't sure why they exploded. I wasn't sure why the Lifeforce was blowing up buildings and like traveling through London, doing all this stuff. And if you were just sucking the Lifeforce out of the person to put into your life, why would it
Then be collected?
get set loose?
Yeah.
And then, not only that, and then it was sucked up through the penis fucking ship.
Dick ship.
And the dick ship. They're like, all those little lights? Those are the souls of the people that have been sucked up there. And it's like, but aren't they still on the...
Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, just a lot of questions. I don't think they really explained how the energy vampires work very well. And I wasn't sure, like, are they bringing them back up to the mothership? Do the vampires go back up there and then all those souls become those bats? Like, I don't know why the bats were there. I don't know.
The bats is
like,
the most confusing thing for me out of all of this.
the one guy turns into a bat and then he gets stabbed, but then explodes. And then I was like, so they're all bats? Like, I don't know. So confused. So those were my hiding in the shadows. Like, I think that's all of them all at once. But yeah, I was just, this isn't answering my questions. Like, I don't know why they're there.
We don't have answers.
Yeah.
Well, and mine with like the Lifeforce and like, I guess like the beacon, like them sucking it. I was like, why doesn't Carlson just follow that, like the beacon? He's still trying to solve shit and try to locate through his
Go where
brain.
the big light is.
Go where the big blue
super
light.
bright.
Go follow that,
Yeah.
and you'll probably find what's going on.
I love this. Like, she's in the basement of the cathedral. London has a lot of fucking churches.
Yeah. I know.
Just
right?
going to every single one, just peeking in.
Wrong again.
If only there was a big blue light.
Showing me
Telling me exactly where to go.
Yeah. It's crazy.
All right. In the shadows for me, I just had the question when Space Girl's in the autopsy room or whatever, and the guard is watching and he's alone and he sort of looks around and then he like goes to basically grope her body. I just feel like, is he a pervert or mesmerized? Because like no other than like a hint of mesmerization, we haven't seen it before, but he literally is just like reaching towards her chest and then she opens her eyes. He's, oh no. Oh my God.
I'm going to go with pervert. Just based on all the men in this movie, I'm going to go with pervert.
So on that's my next shadows. I was like, all the problems happen because of dumb, horny men. This entire movie is dumb, horny men.
Yes.
Just lead to problems. They bring the woman back to the ship because she's beautiful. Dumb, horny guys. They let her escape the complex because they're dumb, horny guys. It's just...
And we don't see anything from the female astronaut.
But then, so one of my questions is, why are there two male? So Space Girl came about because she could tell that she was like what they desired.
What Carlson wanted,
and then, but who desired the two other chaps? Was that
some closeted dudes?
Maybe.
Yeah. And the one female that apparently is trashed to the Carlson.
I haven't seen any woman.
She's perfect. I've never seen a woman in 6 months.
It's like, fuck, man, I'm right here.
Sam, what did you have hiding in the shadows?
I have a lot of questions. Mostly, like, all my questions are about the bats, like the space bats.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why are they there? Like,
why are there bats on Earth but bats in space? And
that's what I don't understand. Yeah. Like, that's the whole thing. Is like, is this like space bat, alien bats? But then we still have bats here. Are they insinuating that those are vampires? But we have vampire bats. What is? I just don't.
So what happened to that bat that they put into the secret netting?
They fucking lit him on fire. That was in one of my...
oh, did I miss that? I must have missed that.
They torched the motherfucker. He lit up so fast. They just got a little lighter. And he fucking went up in flames.
When he burns the ship, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So on the topic of that, my other hiding in the shadows was when Carlson's running around, like opening up all the oxygen to then blow up the ship.
Yeah.
In a previous like flashback or retelling, they show how they found Rawlings' body dead sort of in that one bay up on the ledge.
Yeah.
When Carlson's running around opening up oxygen, Rawlings' body is still there. So did it happen like it was like half an hour from finding Rawlings' body to everything falling apart and he'd killed everybody? Or is it like Rawlings is sitting there for days and no one's like, maybe we should take care of this Rawlings?
Like, I find that the timeline of this film is also kind of weird because it's like it's kind of crazy because you don't really know. And like, yes, they do like the 30 days later or whatever when they're like, oh, it should be re-entering now, and it's not. But like their journey that they took to find, like they went to the asylum, I think, and like when they're chasing Space Girl, and like that seemed to take like days. Like that was like
or hours.
It seemed to be an entire adventure. It was like Lord of the Rings. I was like, this.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't as long as Lord of the Rings.
Felt like it though.
Yeah, it really did.
It really did.
It's like, how much more time is left in this film? Oh my God, I still have an hour left.
Okay, we're now going to go into our bonus features. Sam, what did you find when you looked up research on the film?
The corpses that we thought were pretty cheesy going in were actually used in the original Mummy, the Mummy films from 1999, which is crazy though.
It's a great movie though.
It's a fantastic movie, but for it to like
16 years later,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So that was my first one. And then my second piece of research was that the model for the alien spaceship was actually an artichoke.
Yeah.
I don't know what artichoke y'all are buying out there. I make spinach and artichoke dip quite often.
After plucking off all the leaves and shearing down the heart.
It doesn't look like a dick.
Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Who's the dildo enthusiast now?
Oh, wow. It's a dildo if you're brave enough. Oh my God.
You haven't heard that before?
No.
For me, I just can't believe this, but like Canon Films tried to get Anthony Hopkins to play Kane and he turned it down. Then the film company thought they could make a deal with Terrence Stamp, but that fell through. Then they went to Michael Gothard, screen tested for Kane too. But when Tobe Hooper met Peter Firth, he offered him the role. And it's like, can you imagine if Anthony Hopkins or Terrence Stamp had that role?
Oh,
where they'd be today, if anywhere. And then
Nowhere.
Chad, you had talked about this. I don't have the research on it, so I'll introduce it and then you can go from here. But the budget was $25 million.
Yeah.
Box office 11.6. So do you want to tell us more about the expenses of the film?
Well, they spent a lot of money on the animatronics, like the puppets. And they spent a lot of money on the computer graphics. Like, even though it doesn't look that good by today's standards, the computer work they had to do took a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
The puppetry that they had took forever. Their special effects and makeup took a long time. So they invested a lot of their money into that. And this is where I came from. So Canon, they wanted to get out of the B movie realm. They were seen as a B movie company. And so they wanted to launch themselves out of it. So here are the chart toppers that they started their launch into A stream movie. Lifeforce, Over the Top.
Yeah.
Superman 4. He-Man, Masters of the Universe.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
All 4 of those movies bombed.
Yeah.
And
I think they also did some of the Braddocks Missing in Action.
Yeah,
Like, they've done so many.
so, they just had a hard time getting, I guess, good scripts, but they spent a lot of money on special effects and trying to build it up to get out of this B movie stuff, but they hired B movie actors.
Yeah.
Like He-Man Masters of the Universe was Dolph Lundgren. Superman 4 was one of the worst Supermans ever made. And they said that mainly happened because they had a huge budget and they started hacking it off.
Yeah.
So
I think Golan and Globus, the 2 producers that are sort of tied to Canon Films, they're just all excess and like over the top. And it tanks every one of their movies.
yeah. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Zack Snyder right now because
I
he's,
haven't watched his new stuff on Netflix.
well, that Rebel Moon is just
Let's talk about this for 10 more minutes.
awful.
We're now talking about Rebel Moon. This is our 6th or 7th.
Anyways,
All right. Sam, what else did you find in your research?
We kind of talked about it before, but Matilda May actually didn't speak very much English on the set. So I know, Chad, you had already talked about it. And she actually learned her lines when she auditioned. She learned them all phonetically. And when in her audition, she was asked to disrobe, she actually excused herself to call her manager first because she was scared that she was auditioning for a porno. She then had to get assured by her agent or whomever that it was actually, yes, no, it's a science fiction movie. And then she actually agreed to be part of it.
Did you have another?
This movie's actually based on a book called The Space Vampires.
yes, I had heard about that.
And the author, Colin Wilson, hated the film, and his verdict being, quote, well, at least there's lots of full frontal nudity, end quote.
Jesus Christ. On the topic of writing, I had a script doctor was brought in. So Michael Armstrong visited the set while filming, but was horrified by Tobe Hooper's working methods. And I meant to bring this into my first impressions. Chainsaw Massacre, amazing. Tobe Hooper has just gone down and down and down. I hope this is the last one we do of his.
Yeah.
Although I read in the research that he didn't do a feature after this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but like, think about it. Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
Like Poltergeist was mostly a Spielberg production.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck happened to Hooper?
Well, who knows? Maybe the studio got involved and they told him to dial it back a bit.
Maybe. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, the acting in Texas Chainsaw Massacre is, I mean, it's pretty good, but it's not stellar.
Right.
Like,
but it works because it's over the top.
yeah, and because it's this big horror film. So I don't know. However, Patrick Stewart said several times that Tobe Hooper was his favorite director to work with.
I had that as well.
I saw that too. Yeah.
So like, it's amazing. Like maybe he knows what he's doing, but maybe he gets pigeonholed or sidetracked with the studio. Maybe he can't do what he wants to do. Hey, I want to do this scene. And they're like, no, I don't know.
Yeah, because like Salem's Lot was for TV. Golan and Globus probably had a very strong thumb holding him down on this one.
Right.
Potentially, yeah. On Patrick Stewart, I had that. Like, he calls this the nadir of his career, right? The lowest point.
Oh, yeah.
But he did say, like, he loved working with Tobe Hooper.
Yeah.
But he did admit the only reason he took this film is because he had to repair a bay window on his house.
He's like, I need a paycheck.
He needed a paycheck. Yeah.
But he gives it his all.
He does. Like,
there's no, like, there are are actors in movies that you can tell where they're just like,
Yeah.
give me the check.
Yeah.
I need to get moving. Patrick Stewart, you would have thought like he was trying to make it in the film business because he just gives it.
Watching him when he's like freaking out and chewing the scenery, I can only think of like some of the theater work I've seen him do where he's like Macbeth and yelling for Seaton and
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we are now going to move into our watchability scale. Sam, where would you place this film?
Oh, not great. It's not the worst.
You sound so disappointed.
I am. I think there were some entertaining aspects to it, but it was long. Kind of trying to go between a 2 and a 3 for it. I think I'll give it a 3 overall.
3 overall. Okay. You are much nicer than I am. I'm still bouncing between a 1 and a 2.
Ooh.
I know I've seen this movie twice. I would say reluctantly both times. The first one was only to enjoy an episode on a podcast. Second was because some a-hole recommended. No. Second time was because a listener recommended it. I don't think it's worth seeking out. This isn't even one where I'd say like watch it with a group of friends and make fun of it. So
No.
I'm placing it at a 1.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, if we get the version that we got, which is almost 2 hours long, it's a 0, but I can't give zeros, so it's a 1. If you get a shorter version, it's still a 1.
I was going to say, like, taking off those 15 minutes is really going to rescue this.
It's a miss for me. Don't seek it out. Don't waste your time. It's dog shit. It's not worth it. I mean, there are some amusing bits. What's her name's worth checking out, but I mean, you get that.
I was like, you couldn't even give Matilda May.
Matilda May can get, do it in 5 minutes. There you go.
Do what, Chad?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Otherwise, yeah, it's a miss. It's a total miss for me.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. Or 56%. I agree.
56%.
All right. Thank you very much for listening to us. Remember to check us out on Instagram. We are at ScreamStreamPod. Stop by our website, screamsandstreams.com, where we have information about our episodes, descriptions of our categories, links to our research, our watchability scale, and a page where you can recommend movies you want us to discuss. And please rate, comment on, and subscribe to our show on any of the platforms where you get your podcasts. Until next time, this has been Mike and
Chad
and
Sam.
scare you later.